Hello YouTubers, welcome back to another episode on this Dreich Scottish day. I've got a question for all of the Yamsquad. You may or may not have seen on a previous episode or on a poll on the channel where I was kind of asking similar questions of why don't you like coastal rowing? The main reason I ask the question at all is because the majority of the coastal rowing videos, stats-wise at least, haven't been doing very well. And I don't make the videos specifically to perform really well, but because it is part of the overall business of the Yamsquad, I would prefer the videos to do better than do worse. And when I'm spending so much effort making the videos and they don't give back as much, then it's, well, should I just put less effort in to get the same back? And so I'll be really curious to know why you guys might think that the videos of the coastal variety anyway may be doing not as well. Because even the previous video that was of the 40-minute steady, no talking, just up and down this water here, very little effort but outperformed videos of the coastal beach sprints variety. I put loads of effort in both filming and editing, and to me they were more exciting. So it'd be interesting both if you're a flatwater rower or a beach sprinter. Even if you've commented on the poll or the video previously, I would still be interested to hear, because I think there are a few reasons why the videos don't do as well, which I'll be chatting about. But now I have to get off the dock first. Bit of a steep one. Oh, that wasn't a good push. Bit rainy, bit slippy. There we go. So I think there are a few reasons to people preferring flatwater over coastal rowing. Big reason, obvious one, flatwater rowing is a bigger sport, done that more, not tried coastal rowing, so they prefer what they've done. Which is fair enough, everyone has their own individual sort of preferences. But I think that shouldn't be as much of the case, because I think there's a big sort of mismatch between the perception of coastal rowing and what coastal rowing actually is. So a couple of comments on the poll or a couple of comments on the video asking the question at the end of a coastal video, people were saying things like, well, you don't row in time in a coastal boat, or the rowing's so different, or it's a completely different technique. Whereas actually, as the rain starts to come down even harder, actually the technique is pretty much exactly the same. Yes, the boats are different, but generally the boats are different because of the waves, to deal with the conditions better. If you're in a coastal single and you're on a piece of flat water like I'm on today, you would be flying along. Yes, the boat's a little bit heavier, so you'd be going slower, but you'd be doing exactly the same technique and probably being a little bit more comfy. So I think there's a little bit of a lack of education between the two, and a little bit of, maybe this is a bit controversial, a little bit of arrogance that no, flatwater rowing was here first, it's better, that's what I'm doing. I'm not saying that you have to do coastal rowing. I just think that maybe there's a little bit more openness to be had. So for me, when I got back into the flatwater single, into the fine single, post coastal single rowing, I was so surprised how much more comfortable the boat felt. So like I said, the coastal boats are bigger and more stable, so that when you're in them, there's an increased level of confidence. And so when you use that and hop into a fine boat, there's a little bit of an increase of confidence, or at least that's what I felt like. So I felt like my technique actually improved, even though I was only doing sort of shorter sprints, etc. And that was one of the things as well. Yes, I've been doing a beach sprint, so it's 250 meters out, 250 meters back on the water. But again, it's the same technique, and it's really helped my speed in the fine single. It's helped me, it's almost like a little bit of cross training or resistance training on the boat when you put a bucket or a bungee or whatnot on the boat, because the boats, the coastal single boats are about 35 kilos or so, I think, because that's the minimum. So that when you hop into the fine single, it just feels like you're able to send the boat so much more, because for those of you who don't know, the fine singles are around minimum 14-15 kilos, so it's a massive difference, and it just runs so much more, again adding to that bit of confidence. So I think that's the biggest reason why the content on the coastal side doesn't do as well as the flatwater content, because like many people have said, the flatwater videos were first here on the channel. I have done way more flatwater rowing, and that's where the majority of people have come from and watched the videos. But I think that a lot of flatwater rowers could get a lot out of coastal rowing, and maybe just give it a try. But obviously, like I said, everyone has their own preferences, so you can do whatever you like. But again, just going back to the very start, just a little bit curious as to why you may not have clicked on or viewed as much the coastal videos, because to me it is much more similar than the sort of perception of coastal versus flatwater rowing is. Because it is, of course, there is rowing in both flatwater rowing, coastal rowing, and rowing is a rowing sport, and there isn't that much of a difference really when you get down to it. But the rain is looking like it's not going to be turning off, so I better keep moving, keep myself warm, and get finished with the rest of the session. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that coastal rowing is not everyone's cup of tea, but I really do believe that flatwater rowing and coastal rowing can work in harmony together. There's enough variation in coastal rowing to help flatwater rowers, and there's enough variation in flatwater rowers to help coastal rowers. And remember, variation is one of the keys to motivation. So a little bit of increased motivation for everyone wouldn't be a bad thing. But that'll be it for today's episode. I'm gonna get the boat away and get dry, because it's pretty much not stopped raining for the entire session. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and do let me know in the comments below what you think. Am I completely wrong? Is there a difference? Do you think that there's a particular reason that the content may be doing not as well? Is it just rubbish content? Maybe I should try something different. But as always, Yamsquad, I do appreciate your feedback, and As always, remember to hit that like button if you did enjoy the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Both of those combined do help push the channel out, and maybe that's one of the reasons for the videos not doing so well, because coastal rowing is relatively smaller and therefore less people to watch the videos. Maybe it is the simplest reason for the decreased performance in videos. Or maybe not. Let me know in the comments below and I'll see you in the next episode.